Welcome to Guzzlr.
Hello and welcome to this wonderful Guzzlr Podcast. Are we not so happy to be here, gentlemen? The twist on yours from last week.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Plagiarising already. I wish I wasn't in the wig. But
Yeah, but you know,
I'm alright.
my podcasts are fun. So
You're in a wig?
It was Dec's idea for us all to wear head garments.
Hey.
You think I've got a wig like that laying around? You clearly brought it with you.
Wait, you keep saying he's wearing a wig. Where?
It's not just extensions.
Pubes.
Like, there's a bit from the bottom. A bit from the bottom.
Moustache. That makes more sense.
Right, so they were talking about the idea of celebrity.
Guzzlr Podcast.
How do you think?
I don't.
Between fair enough.
You know who
I'll
I do
talk
to get famous?
How do you think in the last 50 years it sort of changed in the world to become? Well, firstly, actually, let's
get your tits out and then easy, innit?
Define celebrity.
Anyone that I know is a
Just
celebrity.
celebrities!
But anyone I know, but not personally, is a celebrity.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How
So
do
I
you define celebrity?
Anyone in the limelight, really, innit? People with more money than me and more fame. There's not many, but
I think the idea of celebrity is really, really hard to define. It's quite personal.
It's
quite
going to be
subjective,
personal,
like,
isn't it?
I had this conversation with you before, where like my girlfriend's really, really into Formula 1 now, and the heroin aspect of it. So like she loves Formula 1. So like, if she met like Lando Norris or like George Russell or something, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
She'd be really, really excited. She'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
But
If I
still,
saw him on the
I
street,
don't believe you.
if I saw him on the street, I don't give a shit. It's just anybody, innit? It's
If you
anybody.
saw him on
to
the
me.
street, or if I saw him, I might walk past him every single day. Wouldn't even know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, I'm quite into Doctor Who. I don't know if you know this. Just a little bit.
The hat
into
gives it
it.
away.
So like, if I saw, say, Sylvester McCoy or someone like that on the
Who?
street, or Colin Baker or something, I'd be quite
Sylvester
excited.
Stallone?
Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, to be fair, we
You'd
get
be
excited.
excited, because
Colin,
I'd be like-
Colin Farrell?
Yeah, I'd be excited.
You know what I mean? Because to me,
Jesus Christ.
or if Louis saw like Got One or I can't
Tan-
think of
Tan
any other
France?
Tan.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
be quite excited to
Jonathan
see Tan.
Tan,
to be fair.
Yeah.
I also would.
Well,
I'd be a bit partial to a bit of Got One as well, but I was trying to think of things to make Louis look a bit weird. But you know what I mean, though. It's quite personal. It's quite a subjective sort of like, because it's what you're into and what you care about and what you're interested in. Like Max is really into wrestling. He could probably find some obscure wrestler he'd be excited about. And again, I wouldn't recognise. I couldn't even name one now,
So how?
other than like the really famous ones.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see John Cena. That's the problem. So like, so it's a really bad joke.
I actually appreciate that joke. That's I like that.
I hooked you in.
That was good. That's real good. It's got me like that. Well, that's all, ladies and gents. That's good. No, so in the last 20 years, how has becoming a celebrity differed?
I think there's now less barriers to becoming a celebrity because it's more like sort of unfiltered and stuff.
Yeah.
Like 50 years ago, it was harder for you to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You would have to go forward to like, if you want to be in a film or something, you'd still have to audition and go through barriers and stuff before you were even in the public eye. Whereas now, anybody can put them, like any small, tiny podcast where they have terrible opinions and they talk like their opinion's fact and they have like 20 listeners and no one actually likes them, can put themselves on YouTube.
And they could
become,
Yeah, I think
they could, with loyal supporters and people sharing their content, become quite big.
I think the idea
You get what I mean,
like,
though?
20,
It's
30
easy
years
to put
ago,
yourself out there.
it was sort of structured celebrity, where now you can put yourself out there in not any particular way.
I think
And get famous, because something I want to talk about later. I will talk about it later actually, but people can do a lot of things a lot easy. Just do a job, and now just get famous for no particular reason.
I think as a consequence of that as well, like a direct consequence, is that the sort of repercussions of celebrity life has become a bit more severe as well.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like I say, there was a lot of barriers. Like you wanted to be a film star, you wanted to be a musician, you put yourself out there, you did all this stuff, you became a celebrity. These days you can become a celebrity for loads of reasons. Children can become celebrities, anybody can become a celebrity for many reasons.
Yeah, there's that.
They're not necessarily...
Jojo Rabbit, whatever her name is.
Boo Boo, what's her name?
It's Jojo something.
Jojo Siwa.
Oh.
Yeah. I think you meant the girl from Jojo Rabbit, who's literally an actress. She meant Jojo Siwa.
Scarlett
I
Johansson.
think it's all that Boo Boo. What's her name? Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo.
Anyway, what I was saying was...
Honey Boo Boo, she's like She's like a traveller.
Those people can be a lot less prepared for stardom.
The traveller, I didn't get rid of that. Well, I said traveller.
No.
She's like a trailer park girl, is what I
Gypsy.
meant. I mean, like trailer park girl is what I meant. Like,
Yeah. But like I say, those people...
She lives at the Premier Inn.
No, she's like... she's... Anyway.
Oh, it's a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
But I'd say those people can be a lot less prepared for celebrity life.
Yeah,
the repercussions of that.
Mental health repercussions as well.
Or even because of there's less barriers, it's easy to sort of jump in. Like you look at Love Island and Jeremy Kyle and all the things where people have been put into stardom or they've had their lives exposed. Obviously, unfortunately, people have committed suicide due to Love Island. People have for Jeremy Kyle and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just so easy to be out in the limelight.
The internet and stuff, and the fact that nothing goes away plays a big part in that, isn't it? Like,
100%.
Nothing goes away, and you can be like memes, for example. People will become memes, just memes, just because like,
which is a meme in itself.
Yeah.
Like, immortalised in.
Yeah. Like the sea shanty lads.
Immemorialised.
I saw a picture of the sea shanty lads last year at some point, and the caption said, "Those who think AJ is going to beat Fury," and it was like the sea shanty lads, and I thought, that's quite funny. And I didn't see anything for a year, and then that bloke brought out that there once was the sea shanty song, and then they like got them singing it, and it was just like, no, I don't know. I clearly would in my hat and my pajamas, and I just thought like he did that for a whole year, but then suddenly they blew up overnight, and they were on like Good Morning Britain and like the One Show and stuff like that. Mad.
I've spoken about Reply All before, the podcast.
Yeah.
And there's an episode about this guy, and someone took a picture of him, and he sat at a party with some attractive girls, and he looks quite sort of just like a bit disappointed. He's a very famous picture, and they hunted him down. Right. And I just love the idea that he became incredibly famous just because someone took a picture of him at a party, and he looked a bit like a sort of hopeless romantic. He looked a bit sort of. I just find it crazy. Yeah. It's a really good episode because they find him. They actually find all his friends first.
Wow.
And all his friends tell the podcast people that he died. He didn't die. They find him eventually. He's alive. They were just joshing.
How did they find him?
What a great Josh.
It was really difficult, but they did manage to track him
down.
down. It's a better podcast than this. Go listen to it.
So, like YouTube has done like a lot to get people famous. Who's the most famous person to ever come off of YouTube? There is a right answer.
Is there?
There is actually a right answer.
What, off of YouTube onto like the main?
Yeah, in
PewDiePie.
Okay.
Or do you mean being able to project KSI maybe?
Okay.
Actually,
so starting on YouTube and ended up out. I would say, I think I do actually correct answer. I think it's Justin Bieber.
Does it count?
Yes, Justin Bieber started just uploading just covers of songs, and then Scooter Braun was just going to find another cover. And he found Justin Bieber, and then he flew him out to like LA or whatever, and introduced him to Usher, and Usher was like, "Yeah, boy, Island Records." That's how he got there. And if it wasn't for YouTube, we probably wouldn't know who Justin Bieber was.
Yeah.
So, I've got a few others who were also like that. Well, this one I didn't actually
Rebecca
know.
Black.
Rebecca Black. I've wrote it down. Yeah, I actually have wrote it down.
By Burnham.
By Burnham. So he was like 14 when he first started. Yeah. But Shawn Mendes, I didn't realise that he was a Vine star. He was 6-second songs, 6-second covers, and now Shawn Mendes is Shawn Mendes.
Now he just disappoints Camilla Cabello in 6 seconds instead of the entire nation.
Yeah.
What a career trajectory for that.
Halsey uploaded Ghost to SoundCloud. She blew up overnight. So did Post Malone with White Iverson. Literally blew up overnight. And then like Beyonce. She was in a program called Star Search. She was in a girl band with Destiny's Child, but it was called Girls Time at the start.
Girls Time.
Yeah, Girls Time, spelled Tyme.
Is that like strumming?
They were about 12 at the time.
Is it the blood event?
They were about. I don't think it's either.
The blood
event.
I think you need to go to court.
But anyway, yeah, I didn't realise that she started out on a reality show. Harry Styles as well. He was started off in X Factor.
Yeah.
And then, do you remember Alex from Target? Someone uploaded a picture to Twitter about he's called Alex from Target, who she just real likes. And he got like a modelling career and stuff like that. He absolutely loved
the yodeling kid.
The yodeling kid, Walmart kid. He got like an album deal and stuff, didn't he? You right?
Yeah.
He's actually one of the people I was thinking of earlier when I said like children could just be like yeeted into stardom.
The bloke, not really won't take out bloke, the small child who went on stage with Dave at Glastonbury.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he got like It happened on the Saturday, one on the Monday. Boohoo were asking if he wants a modelling career and
Yeah,
stuff
no one
like
knows who he is anymore, though, do they?
that. No, but he could well be doing modelling stuff. And, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
he
just
still
weird
get
that
a
like
career for, yeah.
the fact is that he just went on stage today and people thought, I'll put him on modelling shows and stuff like that. I think it's mad. Jennifer Hudson as well, she didn't win American Idol, she's won Oscars now. Mad. And Kylie Jenner, she was just that girl on...
You say Kylie Minogue.
On Keep Up with the Kardashians. Is that what it's called?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'd argue her stardom was always going to come whether or not she had the show.
Yeah, but like, to be like the first...
Because the dad was the famous one.
Yeah, but you... Okay, but like, to be the first self-made billionaire and stuff like that.
Yeah, but was she self-made?
No,
Was she really a self-made
There's
billionaire?
one thing the other day, I can't... What's the word? I can't think of the word.
Freeloader.
No, where you work off of your parents.
Fraud.
Like...
There was a conversation about it with the BBC recently, which was really, really funny.
Basically, where you work
Begins
off
with
of...
an N.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Not a nice person.
No, where you just like, you get a job or something because your mum had a job and you like... Someone should be screaming at us. Going, what word is this?
Anyway, someone had said on Twitter, no it wasn't, a reviewer had said that this particular film, it was a short film and it was made by...
To make Google it.
I knew that.
It was, I can't even remember what the short film was made by. It was made by Ethan Hawke, his daughter. It had Steven Spielberg's daughter made it as well. And there was someone else, some other director, their son was in it.
I remember. My data's not working, it's nepotism.
Nepotism, yes.
Mm.
So this short film had three famous people, their children in it. So I think it was Spielberg, there was Ethan Hawke's child, and there was someone else. Writing it, that was it, Stephen King's son.
Owen or...
Owen.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote it. We had Steven Spielberg's daughter directing it, and we had Ethan Hawke's child starring in it. This wasn't a famous short film, near to no budget, but there was a reviewer who reviewed it and said, if it wasn't for nepotism, this film wouldn't exist. And Ben Stiller stood up and said, that isn't true. No one's heard of this film because nepotism isn't a thing. And they said, if it wasn't for your parents, Ben Stiller, then you would be famous anyway. And he said, that's not true. My parents were comedians, they did Saturday Night Live and stuff. He said, but if I didn't have any talent, I wouldn't be where I am now. He said it might have opened the door, but what kept me there was because I was good enough to be there.
That's difficult.
But
yeah.
even if you've got talent, if you don't have the doors to be opened,
yeah,
it's still nepotism.
But
the doors opening is the nepotism,
yeah.
not
Exactly.
the fact that he's carried it on.
And he used examples of like...
It's like saying we're not... we haven't experienced white privilege, or we haven't been lucky enough to experience white privilege because we're qualified to do our jobs anyway.
True, yeah.
It's like, fine, but it doesn't mean it hasn't played a factor.
It
It doesn't mean it's not relevant at all. It's not to say that you've got it just because of white privilege. It's just saying that there's other factors to consider, right?
Because he said about like how Willow Smith and like Scott Eastwood, for example, Clint Eastwood's son, he said, the reason they're not on the cover of Vogue and on like A-list celebrities is because they haven't got the talent to keep them there.
But Willow Smith's a really good singer.
But she's not got number one singles. She's not got top 40 singles.
She's not
famous.
People don't know she exists.
So that's the point that Ben Stiller
Like
makes.
she's still putting out.
Good career.
Yeah. I know, but Willow's trying, and she's not getting
necessarily
out.
But I think she is, because she's only still like 17.
Yeah.
So will you hear about her big until she reaches
Also,
out of it, and then her publicity?
Whip My Hair Back and Forth was an absolutely awful song.
But it was
terrible.
It was one hit wonder though, wasn't it?
But she's Willow. But she's Willow. No, you didn't know it. But she's Willow Smith.
Yeah.
And now she's just had a song with Avril Lavigne. Like, it's quite good actually.
But interesting. Stephen King's other son, Joe Hill, publishes as Joe Hill. He doesn't publish as Joe King because he wanted to publish with a different name.
And the idea as well is
not have that.
Yeah.
And he's been very successful. He wrote Horns, which was the film. He wrote the book, but not.
Yeah. The idea as well is like Lee Child's brother, who's
Andrew Child.
Yeah, who's writing the Jared books now. The idea was, you'll still be as good as what your brother was when he was writing those books. Well, no, like.
But he had published books before under the name Andrew Grant.
Right.
you could probably, but again, he did inherit that franchise just because it's his brother.
Yeah.
Like nepotism is, but sometimes I think the BBC one was someone in the BBC. I have no idea who she is, and quite frankly, I don't care. She was like, BBC has a massive issue because everyone that works there is someone's daughter or
Legacy
son or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Not what you know, who you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it turns out she'd hired her own daughters on like $100K a year or
Ah.
something to just sort of be in her office. So even though she was like, nepotism's a huge issue in the BBC, she'd hired her own
done it.
daughters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the issue. That is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I used to try and split mine into 3 podcasts. So, like, the thing I want to talk about now is the fact that, like...
Wait, I have a point on pivot.
Oh, go on. Pivoting.
Yeah. So you were talking about, this is like an extension of your point, where you were talking about nepotism, and you're saying they have an open door so they can try it and they can be popular and stuff. Celebrities have a massive thing where they pivot, or they just try different avenues, right?
Yeah.
Why
So
are you
I don't know, I've got a point to make, that's all.
You get what I mean, though?
Yeah.
And, like, surely that's the same argument where just because they become famous in one field, they can use their celebrity status to become something else.
David Dobrik.
Like David
I
Williams.
was like, we were David Dobrik Williams.
Like David Williams, who started as a comedian. And
And
on TV, and he was that sort of thing, and now he's a children's writer.
And very successful children's writer, like as big as Roald Dahl, maybe. Like he's a massive children's
Some
writer.
people have said that recently.
Yeah, and he's getting more money than J.K. Rowling and stuff. Like he's incredible children's writer, which makes me think. Recently, I've written a children's book. I don't know if you've heard, but I've written a children's book.
Oh no! Is it the one you wrote last night?
So for
Please don't
our
say
friend, he's got a couple of lookalikes. Occasionally we're on the podcast.
Oh,
So Nave Mace,
They're all brothers.
All brothers, yeah.
Colin
McRae. So they, he got a book. It was called. What was it called?
It was called.
That's not my sloth.
That's not my sloth. It was a simple book. The book had 44 words.
Not for him.
No, the book had 42 words. The
No,
blurb had 44
the
words.
blurb had 46.
It's
And just mad how the
It's like a
blurb.
whole page.
We were laughing the blurb had more words than the book.
Yeah, the blurb had more words in the book, which is crazy. I mean, we discussed about how easy would it be to write a children's book. So I'd like to propose to you now my children's book.
Please don't read it.
It's
I've
called.
got stories to tell about this.
It's called. What's it called? I've lost my zebra.
Where's my zebra?
Where's my zebra? Where's my zebra? Where's my
No,
zebra?
it was I lost my zebra.
I've lost my zebra. My zebra's lost. Anybody seen my zebra? It's one of those. It depends what country you're in. It depends what it's called. No. So I've just written down the 7 key words.
That's why I can't remember what it's about.
So I'm just going to get the first line up because it's a tricky one. It's quite complex. So I just want to make sure I get the right one. I can't find my zebra. Is he behind the bush?
No.
I can't find
Join
my
in at home.
Zebra.
Okay. Yeah, I can't find my zebra. Is he in the shops?
I can't find my zebra.
Hang on, you gotta wait, mate. I can't find my zebra. Is he up the tree?
No.
I can't find my
'cause he's
zebra.
a zebra.
I can't find my zebra. Is he on the bus?
No. Because he's a zebra.
I can't find my zebra. Is he in the pool?
No.
Oh look, there's my zebra. He's in the abattoir.
Yay!
That doesn't make much sense, does it? It should be, there's my zebra, he's dead in the flatlands being eaten by a lion.
Like, because the abattoir sort of, it gets used to the fact of like meat and stuff like that.
Yeah, but why zebra? People don't eat zebra. If you went...
That's incredibly racist. People in Africa eat zebra. That's what's it called? Anti-multicultural. That's
Anti-multicultural.
That's disgusting. If I might edit that out, Declan, because that's foul.
I'd argue it's geocentrism, but
Just to add to the interest, Louis messaged me earlier and he put, I want to read out my children's book. And I put, I've got the perfect pivot, don't worry. So I planned that whole thing.
Yeah,
and it was quite natural. Wasn't it?
So I thought that honestly, I just thought it'd be that be the way you done it. Anyway,
but I did actually want to talk about that.
Yeah, go on.
To clarify,
yeah.
I do actually want to talk about. I hate the fact that like Zoella, right?
I've thought about
became
that.
famous on YouTube. She's going, and all of a sudden she's decided.
You know laugh. Do you know who Zoella is?
no.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
He's
I don't.
joking. And then she decided, you know who Zoella is?
No.
Yes, you do.
I'm looking down.
Yes, you do, Declan.
Declan! Oh, don't.
We should take a quick
Post on
ad
his
break.
wall.
So, she's a YouTuber.
Right.
Yeah. She was like the
See, that's what you had to
she
say.
was the first,
massive
the
YouTuber.
first,
Said you brained
probably
me for
the
a minute.
first major British YouTuber.
Yeah,
Right.
probably the biggest, like, what's she like, makeup and
Like vlogger.
girl sort of,
Yeah.
girl-centric stuff.
Oh,
tampons
that I
and
can
that.
guess.
Tampons that. Well, no, the weird thing is that she talks about that, doesn't she?
Oh,
on,
you-
on Instagram, she talks about periods and masturbation.
You're getting a Guzzlr top with tampons and
Tampons
that.
and that. That is good for her though, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that is, yeah, because the idea is that the whole is around it with her, and she's
Tampon
trying to
tax and
move
that,
with,
yeah,
like, move with
abolishing
time.
it and free tampons for all.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I was going to say was she decided she's going to publish a book. She
Yeah.
has a platform, she's like, I'm going to write a book. But she didn't write the book. She had a ghostwriter for the book.
Right.
But the book made a ton of money just because of her name. Do you know what I mean? And the ghostwriter got no appreciation, no one cares who the ghostwriter is, no one knows who the ghostwriter is. Apparently the book, genuinely, is quite good. I've heard that from people who aren't like massive Elba fans. Apparently the book is actually not, it's not good, but like, it's not bad.
That's because she did.
But that ghostwriter is never going to get any of that appreciation. She is, just because she was already a big name.
Yeah, but that's brand image, isn't it?
But like, I think there's a massive difference between someone who became famous for one thing and decided they really want to write a book, right? They really have always wanted to write a book. I think that's fine. If you pivot for the right reason, I think that's okay. Like, I fully believe David Walliams, maybe I'm just being naive, but I fully believe David Walliams does want to entertain kids.
Yeah.
He seems like
Surprised me.
the type of guy who would want to write a kid's book.
Yeah,
And he-
priest.
you know what I mean, though, and he's happy to do that, and
And
that's
he's
the
doing it very
natural
well.
progression
Yeah.
for him. Whereas this was very cynical and very sort of
I find it really
for
weird.
money and for brand image, which I hate that.
I find it really weird when just random celebrities write books, like their autobiography. I find it really weird because
Bob Mortimer's is out, and I really
I
want.
think really worried. But yeah, but to be fair, Bob Mortimer's had a mental
The
life.
blurb said, "This book reads like one big episode of Would I Lie?"
But really worried. The stuff like it's just real random stuff, like real random celebrities, like James Hackett, Tom Allen, and I feel like I imagine you are just a bloke who's become a comedian.
Yeah, I think
It is just a job at the end of the day, let's be honest.
And I'm like, I don't actually care. I would like to read Bob Mortimer's book because that's his life is actually mental.
it is really
Like-
strange when everybody like there are some people who have had mental lives,
Yeah,
and you think fair enough, you need to tell a story,
Yeah.
and others are just
Or-
who cares?
So I read a book by Dave Gorman, and he travelled from one side of America to the other, going to places which none of them were chains. So you can go to chain petrol stations, chain hotels, chain restaurants. It was a really good read.
That's quite
But I wouldn't read a book where he goes, "This is my book about how I became a comedian," because I couldn't give a crap how you became a comedian. Like, couldn't give a damn.
You don't feel like there's a reason for the
Yeah,
purpose.
reason
It's
I'm
got to be
reading it.
unique and
Yeah, exactly. Like a book you'd read if it wasn't them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It's absolutely because he was a bit funny. That's
Apparently,
why.
Rich Osman's books were really, really good.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're fantastic.
Well,
Really
Spielberg has asked him to do the Wednesday
Yeah, I saw
Murder Club
that.
or something like that,
Yeah,
which
I
is
saw
really mad. I want to go back on that stuff, but one thing I want to add in the middle is the idea that do you think that reality stars who get a ton of money for being on reality TV, do you think that they would still want to be on reality TV if the pay for a carer was the reality TV money and the money for a carer was the reality TV money? They switched pay. So
It's
for
a
a
really good
carer,
question.
for
It's
a
a really
carer,
difficult question.
you got 100 grand. For being on Love Island, you got 19 grand.
It depends because normally what they're after isn't the pay from
Yeah,
the
it's a
show.
bet, yeah,
it's what they get
endorsements
from it. It's like
afterwards.
it's the fame. It's the look at
They don't
Molly
give-
May
Yeah.
and Tommy Fury. She does
Yeah,
some
they
stuff
get
with her
a lot of
pie.
money
She's got her own
afterwards.
beauty brand.
Do you mean like?
she's got a suntan brand. She's got a
But,
fake
okay,
tan brand.
so
It's now hers and she owns it.
Yeah, I guess a good question is just how much they care about fame as an idea of fame
Yeah.
and people knowing who they are, or as a platform for endorsement
Yes.
and getting money.
Yes.
It's
So-
really difficult to quantify, right?
I wonder how many people do it just for money.
Because like, would you want to be famous? Would you,
It depends what I was famous for.
would you want to be famous for money, or would you want to be famous because you want people to know who you are?
No, I'd want to be famous for doing something right. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But-
Well, Stephen Hawking was famous for being one of the greatest scientific
So
minds.
he was famous
for the
because-
last
And he was
decade.
just a scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that I'd be happy with, but I wouldn't want to be a celebrity for the sake of being a celebrity.
Yeah.
I want to be like Hugh Grant.
But would
So you want to be a Grant?
No.
cheap money is
He's
a
just kind
factor.
of a
in that.
celebrity.
Would you happily be famous for no money, or would you happily be famous for a lot of money?
So I think, theoretically, if this
it's got
podcast...
to come with money, right?
If
Because
podcast-
otherwise people are just going to come up to you on the street and you're poor.
Yeah.
If
Do
the
you know what I
podcast became massive, I feel like you'd have to get money out of it as well, though, wouldn't you? I think it would be worth it if you didn't.
Because people are
Yeah, because you
recognising
wouldn't
the
want to be
street.
famous for a podcast and then have to do
Your
your
daytime
job,
job, yeah, exactly.
7 till 7.
Well, weird thing actually, the bloke, is it Paul Ritter? Bloke from Friday Dinner?
Yeah.
So I was reading about him yesterday about how much he left to his wife.
Hmm.
His entire estate left to his wife,
Mm.
which is £80,000.
Wow.
Which
Really?
isn't much at all.
That's not
Oh, I
much,
spent
is
it all on hookers and cocaine.
Yeah.
I was very much asshole.
Was he? That isn't much. Was he a massive actor though? Or
He was
just
in,
sort
like, he
of
was
a,
in,
like-
Only in Harry Potter.
Do you just have like a
I don't
very
think he had- he was
stable
in-
career?
I
He
thought
was
he
in
was
Chernobyl, he was in
big.
Chernobyl, and he was in the film The Death of Stalin, which
Yeah, he
was...
was. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, but I know he's in it. Yeah.
I wanna hold them like they do in Texas, man. Hold them, let them hit me, raise the stakes with you and me.
Not the lyrics.
So, interesting point. Do you know how much people get paid for being on Love Island? Not with anything else, just per week.
for
How
being
much
on
do
it?
you get paid for being on Love Island?
What's a lot of money?
More than a tenner?
£600.
A week?
Yeah.
More than a tenner.
Well, you're not wrong. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? You got £5.50.
No, but wait. But they get like food and they get everything.
I'll bet
from
it's-
them,
I'll
right?
bet
So this
it's
is like extra money,
A
really.
grand
isn't
or
it?
two.
I reckon it's like £300.
It's £250 a week.
There you go. £300.
Oh.
So, Kem Ketany.
Yeah, I really like Tem. I really like Kem.
Yeah. But before he'd left Love Island,
Kem.
people had already
Chris
signed
Kem
him up.
fame. He's in Soccer Aid.
Yeah. He's a nice bloke, actually. He's actually
in
nice.
Soccer Aid, actually, to be fair.
Before he left Love Island, he'd already got signed on to do modelling stuff and just a mad amount of stuff. How much do you think he made then before he'd even left the Love Island villa?
125 grand.
Like 80 grand.
250,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is what we were saying about endorsements
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff. Like, that's the money.
And
they
who he won with, Amber,
Yeah,
who's not with anymore, I don't think.
make. No, they won.
They won. And now she's worth £1.6 million.
Oh no, my Love Island.
£1.6 million she's worth now for winning Love Island.
It's the only
Like you
series
said-
of Love Island I've watched.
Molly May as
Throw
well.
that out there.
Yeah, same. So an NHS nurse gets roughly between 25...
225?
No, just 25 to 31,000
That's not a
pounds.
bad wage. I've been on the wrong side of history. Right?
And,
I've been protesting. Oh.
and a carer often gets between 19,000 and 24,000. But do you not think that
That's crazy.
when we go, we need more carers? Do you not think we should be? Well, the answer is yes. We should be paying them the money that we're paying people to go on Love Island, not £250 a week, like the endorsement stuff.
The problem is the people paying can't use their morals to decide to pay.
Exactly.
They have to decide,
Yeah.
use their funding to decide to pay. They don't have it.
So
Whereas
recently,
Love Island, they have the funding.
Yeah,
It's one of those things though where like it's a hard thing to restrict because the companies are going to make more money than that.
yeah,
So it's going to be poor. It's like everyone always says, women's football they should earn as much as men's, but it just doesn't make anywhere near the money. Nowhere near. Like, it's ridiculous to
And
say.
in terms of the FA and how much the players earn proportionately to how much the FA earns, women get paid more than
That's
men.
what I mean, as a percentage,
Yeah,
more,
exactly.
because there's nowhere for that money to come. They can't. It's impossible for them to earn as much as like Messi, Neymar, and
Yeah.
Mbappe. It's not gonna happen.
So last night we was in the pub last night. There's a lad in there who I know who he's a carer for severely disabled adults, and that's not because that's just a job that he has to do. He does that because he really wants to do it, and he gives up endless hours every single day, not being with his friends or usually going out week or even weekends to be with these people who are like severely disabled. And he walks them uptown and stuff like that, and he's always I always see him holding their hand in the street and stuff like that. And I think, what a lovely man to give it all that time to help these people just have a friend. But he's getting paid like 19 grand.
And even just literally to just have the life that they should have.
Yeah, exactly. Just to be a
the
normal
life they deserve.
to be able to have a
their life,
conversation with a human being.
That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. The minimum.
Yeah, literally the bare minimum, and he gets paid literally 19,000. Gives up so much of his time. And I've spoke to him once. I always see him around, but I spoke to him once a couple of years ago when I was in the Griffin. I don't know who I was with. And
Probably
he,
us.
And yeah, but I think I got talking to him because of Luke Green. I think I got talking to him because of that. And he said that, I think what my point was actually going to be. What was it? What was my point going to say?
He told you to do a podcast episode.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
ringing up about his plight and really.
No, I can't remember what it was. I was going to say.
And we're going to start GoFundMe.
But yeah, it's just. You know, just nice.
I don't disagree with you, but again, it's where does that money come from?
Exactly.
So check out our politics episode a couple episodes ago.
Some of the weird stuff people do to get famous. And how much do you think Gemma Collins, what do you actually do? Firstly, how much do you think Gemma Collins is worth?
My sister knows Gemma Collins.
Really?
Yeah, she's a right bitch.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She's horrible.
I can imagine it. Yeah.
But I hate that when because you look at Gemma Collins and you think, I don't like her and stuff, but how much of that's like a persona? How much is that like, no, she's just a horrible person.
Really?
So I mean, that's like the worst thing,
Yeah,
isn't it? When someone's just not, because like Lee Francis or whatever, who's Keith Lemon, apparently he's lovely.
Yeah.
Apparently
Apparently he's incredibly
guy.
shy.
Yeah, apparently he's quite
Yeah.
shy.
Yeah.
But you,
Quite
by
reserved.
looking at like Celebrity Juice, you'd think
But that's
he was
because
nice.
that's the character, isn't it?
You think he was a nice guy,
But he's quite sociable and
But as in, he's quite like...
he's not mean
not
to like all of
necessarily-
his jokes never take the piss out of anyone.
No, but apparently
They're always just
Yeah, true.
it's always
He's real
dirty,
shy.
it's always a
Yeah.
laugh. It's something everyone can laugh
Yeah,
at. They're
absolutely.
not,
But
he's
they're
not
very-
laughing at someone.
Because I only ever really count things I've heard from people I trust. Because a lot of celebrities get slagged off for no reason, really. But we know someone who's met James Corden,
Yeah.
and apparently he's a knobhead.
Yeah.
Apparently he's
Doesn't
horrible.
surprise me.
But then he came out recently and said himself he let fame get to his head.
Yeah.
And he became not a nice person.
Well, that's how I know the thing about Lee Francis. Because I know someone who
Exactly.
was in the same friendship group as Lee Francis, and
Really?
yeah. But then I've also heard that Martin Freeman, who's bloody lovely on screen.
Yeah.
Apparently he's a knob.
No, but I've heard he's a knob in like a really sort of funny, endearing way. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a bit of a miserable sort of, but it's just that sort of bloke. Like,
Just
people
that sort of
do really
Like
like
Jack
him.
D.
Yeah, like people
Yeah.
really like him. That's just who he is.
Fair enough.
He's not like an outgoing,
Yeah.
cheerful. He's quite a sort of miserable,
Reserved.
sort of, but in like a nice way. People like him.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
But then you see people like Keanu Reeves, who's famously like
Really
among
nice.
the
Like,
nicest
everyone
celebrities
loves him,
ever. And you could never get near him.
No,
Just,
But yeah, it's crazy because like
rides
none
the
of us, we don't
subway
know.
to
Yeah.
Well, I'll even clarify. We don't know any of this is true.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But I know people that met, then they've had bad experience, but it doesn't mean they're bad.
Well, we
people.
met Martin Garrix.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Lovely
nice
man.
guy, lovely. man.
Really nice guy.
It doesn't mean he doesn't go home and he's a dick. You don't know, do you?
Well, that's like this is proven that it's basically proven that it's false. But the idea of like Johnny Depp, people saying that he's lovely. Well,
Yeah.
No one knew what he was doing in his private life, did they? Oh,
but was he?
no. I just said like, I mean like, but at the time, well, fine. I mean, he's a different one then. I bloody love Kevin Spacey.
Free
but, like,
Johnny Depp.
But
He did like him.
the idea that like I didn't know what he was. No one knew what he was doing behind closed doors, did they? That's the idea that you don't know what people are actually like. I can meet Kevin Spacey in the street and go, oh, mate, I love you, and he go, yeah, do you want a photo? Yeah, perfect, mate. I'll go, he's
Fingers
the
you bum a little
nicest
bit.
man in the world, and he goes back
That's why I
to
say
like,
the extent
yeah.
is just how you're perceived. It's literally just who you are at that
To
point.
be fair, we could play a game one day and just guess if celebrities are assholes or not.
Well, my last one of who's really, really nice. Apparently Ricky Gervais is lovely.
yeah,
He's a really, really nice guy.
yeah.
Apparently, like his hometown, if you walk around with a dog, he'll just come over to you and he'll love you. 'Cause
Really?
He's
He
really
loves
big
dogs,
into animals,
yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
very big
but
into-
he puts on that persona, doesn't he, of just being like a narcissistic dick.
Yeah.
Yes, how much do you think Gemma Collins is worth?
Couple mil.
I'll tell you what I think
Like
she's
20
worth. And maybe some choice words.
Oh yeah.
As in monetary value.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like 20 mil.
I reckon like 1.2 million.
2.8.
Oh, I thought
What did
she'd
she
be
do
like
before
that.
she was on Towie?
I reckon she sold angling gear. Sold people fishing rods.
It's quite a good guess, isn't it? I reckon she was a grifter.
The weird thing is, you're not actually that far off.
Am I really not?
She was a car saleswoman.
Really?
She sold cars. Sold used cars.
Oh yeah, I'd love to walk into that car lot and hello.
God, you'd walk straight back out. Right, and also what I find really interesting is like Johnny Knoxville and the Jackass lot. The stuff that the extent they go to.
Yeah.
So basically, they're famous because of the fact of what they do. They hurt themselves crazily,
Yeah.
and that's why they're famous. The only reason we know Steve-O and stuff like that is because Steve-O literally was a fan of Jackass, and asked to be on it. They were like, nah. And then eventually they were like, well, what can you do? And he just does that mad. And they were like, fair enough. So like, he is literally famous because he just injures himself. So how much do you think?
So I find that quite like, that's quite an impressive celebrity to me though. Because like anybody could do it.
He's actually earned the status.
Yeah, and like anybody could do it. We could all sit here and go, literally anybody could do it, but you never would.
So he's worth the same as Emma Collins.
Really?
And I'd argue he deserves it more than she does. Because he's literally injured himself so much. How much do you reckon Johnny Knoxville, so like the lead of Jackass?
4.6.
4.6.
8.2.
8.2. Do you think he's... I'm going to play a game of higher or lower, okay, when I tell you how much he's worth. Okay?
Yeah.
So firstly, you're too low.
Right.
Both of you are too low. Do you want to have another guess?
12.8.
16.4.
Again, you're far too low.
Really? He's 54.
He's too low. He's worth 75 million
How?
pounds.
What?
Now, do you think
that much more than
that
Stephen?
Ricky Gervais is higher or lower than Johnny Knoxville?
Higher.
Yeah, higher. So he's worth 120 mil.
Famously the highest earning comedian in the world.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
For many, many years.
Yeah.
Idris Elba.
But he's the most awarded comedian in the world as well,
he is.
right?
He's massive. He's ridiculous. He's massive world over.
Yeah.
Idris Elba.
I think less than Ricky Gervais.
How much do you think he's worth then?
How much is Ricky Gervais worth?
120.
I reckon he's worth like 89.
I think he's higher at like 140.
30 million. So he's less than half of Johnny Knoxville.
Wow.
John Cena.
More
than
than Idris.
Yeah.
More.
How much do you think he's worth?
45.
62.
60. Whoa. So he's double Idris Elba, but still 15 million less than Johnny Knoxville.
Does Johnny Knoxville own the production company?
I'm not sure. I think he might do. I think
he does.
Interestingly, the Jackass films have made £500 million, which is crazy because there's no writing involved. They just do mad stuff.
Yeah, they got to come up with it and stuff.
They have, yeah, but I'm saying
but
like
he's still
comparatively
that
to a
would mean
film,
like,
it would take a lot of writing.
Yeah,
he's worth nearly a fifth of the total
basically
income for those films.
Apparently, one of the reasons that films, this is very much of a tangent, very quickly, is a lot more expensive than TV. One of the main reasons it's a lot more expensive is they have to book actors for the entire film, and like cast and all that sort of stuff. TV will just book someone for a day. If they can fit their scenes in a day, they'll just book them for a day. Whereas films pay everyone for the entire thing of the film.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons it's a lot more expensive. There you go.
So going into that, my first section, the idea of modern things which help get people famous. Like OnlyFans has rocketed people into fame.
I love the OnlyFans. People probably forgot this happened. You remember when OnlyFans announced that they weren't going to allow explicit images anymore?
Yeah.
How quickly they decided that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Why did they ever think that would be a good idea? And why did they care? What were they trying to do? I don't get.
To be fair,
do you know what the purpose of that was?
it was
You do business. What could be? Why would they want to do that?
Trying to increase a reputation and get a different form of business.
Which seems really strange to me, though.
They're getting
because their reputation, I don't think, would ever change.
I think someone offered to buy them out, but it was on a conditional basis. Because that's what normally, if a smallish website becomes big, someone tries to buy them out, but it's on a condition where something has to change, and that would have been that for OnlyFans. So
do you think someone would?
I'm sure it's
want to buy you out.
Advertisement. I thought it was something to do with that.
We want to buy you out, but you've got to get a better reputation.
See, that does make sense. It seems really weird to want to buy OnlyFans. But then I guess it makes sense. OnlyFans has become a massive platform, but OnlyFans would die very, very quickly without its explicit content.
Yeah.
Surely they can see. Everybody can see that, right?
There's people like Belle Delphine, for example.
They change their mind.
Belle Delphine has made a total career off of doing pretty much that.
There's also good things to have come out of it because there's someone on Twitter. There's someone called her professional name is the Naked Philanthropist. Kyla something is a proper name. And when when there was all the wildfires in Australia, the whole month she donated every single thing she earned on OnlyFans.
No, it's fantastic.
Like
you can't fault
the thing I find weird is that
not that you can't fault anyone on OnlyFans. I don't really.
It's just sex work.
Fair enough.
It's a bad job.
I wish I could.
The thing across the world, across the world, Kerry Katona is the 7th highest earner on OnlyFans, and I find that absolutely mental. Kerry Katona. She's 7th highest in the world. But to be in the world...
Because like Bella Thorne became massive, but she doesn't really post.
She's in the top 10, she's in the top 10,
But that's like...
Kerry Katona, though.
The porn star.
Mia Khalifa?
That's her. Because she's only ever done like... she's only done like 4 actual pornos, hasn't she?
I don't know. Just to clarify to everyone at home, and this is genuine, I haven't actually seen any Mia Khalifa porn. No, genuinely, I just know her as the famous porn star. That's all I know.
Mia Khalifa only ever did 4 pornos, I think, and I haven't seen any. Yeah. No, I haven't. But she's only
the
done
XXX man. That's
yeah. But she's one of the most famous porn stars in the world, and she was saying like she gets a lot of hate from like Arabian men because she's Middle Eastern or she's. Yeah. But like when she looked at all the data from people who watch her videos, it was like 76% in the Middle East. So it was all Middle Eastern men watching her videos. And then just saying, you're disgusting, how could you do this?
It is, yeah.
Like, she's famous for porn, but she's got like her own YouTube channel and stuff. Like, she does normal videos. She doesn't like the fact that she was in porn.
Yeah.
That's probably another
thing
where like,
reputation.
They know in their culture and stuff that they shouldn't be watching that. So they like throw abuse at her and abuse her and stuff.
But behind closed doors.
Yeah, which is like, again, like another extension of the misogyny.
TikTok. People get massive fans of TikTok.
Not talk about TikTok.
The D'Amelios have just got their own show on Disney Plus, haven't they?
I only know because Maisie told me about that.
It's called
I don't know who they are.
It's called like the D'Amelio Show or something.
Yeah, Maisie.
If you search on TikTok, it'll be one of the 2 girls that always do the dancing. It's her and the other one that was in that Netflix show recently.
Again,
never been on TikTok.
Can't tell you.
I have, but once.
So, there's a documentary on Netflix, really good, recommend it. I've spoken before, it's called The American Meme.
At least you went to work Tiger King.
And that's
a new series of that.
Is it actually?
Yeah, in November.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn! Anyway, so there was a lady in there called Brittany Fallon, and she was like a massive Vine star, is that what they're called? A Viner? A Vinester? And she just done Vine. And then someone new came up, and everyone started unsubscribing to her and subscribing to her, and she said it was the worst moment of her life, where she could literally watch her followers go down and the money and the amount of people just didn't care about her anymore. She said that how toxic and horrible it was, that she dedicated her whole life to something, and then people just went, meh, what do you know? And
surely that's like...
And she said she dedicated her life to this thing because she was, oh my god, fame, and then suddenly it was just like,
Surely that is like, it sounds horrible, it's sort of part the risk of it.
It is,
like
yeah. But I think when you're in it,
the idea of being...
it's just like, I'm famous, I'm big, and then overnight someone else replaces you. And now she's with Tommy Lee from the Motley Crue, and she does videos on Instagram and stuff like that. But now I think she's just sort of like, she's just happy now because people who liked her like her, and that's it. She doesn't need that fame anymore. Twitch, go get famous Twitch. There's a bloke called Ninja.
Yeah,
he does 17 million.
He's very famous.
There's a Fortnite and stuff. That's mad. The Fortnite is even a job that you could do. And then you do competitions to win £1 million. Or was it that 14-year-old who won $1 million for winning the Fortnite championship or something?
This is a better thing.
It's crap.
Do you see Twitch?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah, I watch Pokemon challenges sometimes. Shout out, I quite like him, he's a good guy. And
the final thing I want to talk about, we mentioned Zoella, was this idea that Zoella made, you don't know Zoella is, but she made an advent calendar about
Jack made 4 years ago. Did you see Jack Mate's quitting YouTube? You didn't see that. I can tell by his face he didn't see that. He was unhappy. I don't know how serious he was being really, because everyone in the comments was like, you have to start YouTube before you can quit it, Jack, because he hadn't done a video in like 6 years, had he? He started twitching.
Yeah, I did see he started twitching.
Like Twitch
yeah,
stream.
Twitch,
He was happy now,
I didn't know that. Is he still doing that video version of Happy Hour?
They only do clips now, don't they? They're not allowed to put full episodes on anymore.
Because it's owned by Spotify.
Really random, right?
So yeah, anyway, Joanna had done this advent calendar. There was it like 15 boxes, 14 boxes?
Well, an advent calendar?
Yeah, it wasn't 25.
I can't remember.
It wasn't 25 boxes in the advent calendar.
I'll be honest, mate.
I'm telling you, no, this is mad, right? So in these boxes, it was stuff like, it was like a packet of glitter,
Or like a really cheap comb that you get like a cracker, like a hair comb.
Like it was
literally like plastic like that big.
Literally some of it was a glitter. Some of it was like stickers. One was like a candle. That's the most expensive thing. It probably cost like £1. And she started Advent Calendar for £50. And her audience at the time.
This is the thing. Her audience.
Like 12 to 13, 14 year olds.
They're all below 16. They're all young girls.
And she's done so 50.
The point of Jack Mate's video, it's his most famous video, is just how like fucking exploitative that is. To know that your audience is that young, that impressionable, and that you know they're going to buy your products. And you're giving them like £2 worth of product for £50.
He literally priced it up and it cost like £7-8. In fact, he tried to make his own Advent calendar, and he said that it cost him like literally nothing because. And the point is, she's exploiting very young children because and getting their parents to buy it. And it's they were basically saying you've got 2 girls, one of them gets the Advent calendar. The other one goes...
He said 2 girls, 1...
And then 2 girls. That made them famous.
2 girls, 1
My
Advent
heart was racing for a minute.
2 girls who are friends. One of them gets the Advent calendar. The other one is saying to them, why can't they have the Advent calendar?
That Advent calendar full of chocolate.
Yeah. And they sent to them, why can't we have the Advent calendar? And everyone's got to explain because it's £50 and it's far too expensive and they're not idiotic.
Yeah, he talks about merch and stuff and like YouTube merch where it's like a hoodie or something, it's like £100. And you can tell they've put no effort into it whatsoever.
What's his name? Ollie?
It's very exploitative.
The Soul Show.
Ollie, no. And basically just a hoodie, like a circle that says Ollie in it, and he's like, well, yeah, you're charging £75 for that. It's not like you've made it yourself. And then Jack Mate's merch is like real personal to him and like, and he does it like on the bare minimum money, like £12. So like to show you how cheap you can like do it.
Make it. Yeah. I've got one last question. It's quite a hard hitting one. We ain't got long, so answer it quickly, boys. To what extent is a celebrity's influence just due to how famous they are, and what is it? And to what extent is it due to their platform? Do you know what I mean? Weighing it up.
Ooh.
Like, is your influence just because you have a massive platform? Is your influence because of what your platform is? Like, does a Twitch streamer have more influence than a YouTuber? Does you just assume a politician would have quite a lot of influence, but probably not really compared to like a musician or...
Taylor Swift, when I watched her documentary on Netflix, she was basically saying that when she wanted to talk about a politician in a local area, about how wrong he was about women and stuff, and everyone around her who owned her at the time, you can't possibly mention politics. You can't because a lot of people are going to leave you. You can't do that. It's going to mess with our brand. And it got to the point where she was like, "Sod it, I'm just going to say it," and then everyone listened to her because everyone was like, "Wow, someone who's famous, someone who we love, has now stood up for something that's like good." In the same way that if she stood up and went, "Women suck, they should all die," people will go, "Oh, you're not the person I thought you were."
I think it's really weird. Like, a lot of people moan about musicians and stuff presenting political views and but like you'd hope people had enough sort of critical thinking and enough willpower to be able to discern what they believe in and what they don't believe in. Do you know what I mean?
About 10 years ago,
I think it depends on the message.
On the audience as well.
It depends on the message they're trying to tell as well. Because if it's like a very like the Queen telling us about economic inequality while sat in front of a golden piano, like, it seems a bit shallow, doesn't it? It seems a bit hollow.
But then, like, the argument always then would be that every single person with a platform is going to have money.
And the idea
so at that point, nobody with a platform could ever talk to you about like economic disparities and class. Like, do you know what I mean? Nobody can ever talk about that.
No, if they've come from that.
Here,
but like if it's Kylie Jenner going,
right? No, I agree.
Yeah, poor people. Yeah,
I was going to say
that would be.
So you're
very
saying it's not necessarily the platform they have now,
it's very
but
contextual.
Also the roots they've come from and their experience. Like
depends
if Stormzy
on the
gets on stage at Glastonbury and talks to you about race and class, that's fine.
Yep.
Because you know Stormzy's come from a position where he can talk about that and he's earned his platform.
It's like the scholarship he does.
No, I agree.
I don't complain about it because he's experienced something in his life where he can't get the education he wants to get.
I agree, yeah.
Letitia Wright, again, I was thinking about it today because she's still on the set of Black Panther 2 talking about anti-vaccine. Can we not just go, we don't agree with you, but you got your own opinions, so just like carry on. But the point is that the idea, the reason it's bad is because she will influence people to not get the vaccine. That's why it's bad.
It's the responsibility of a platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where she's like, can I not ask these questions? And it's like, well, no, but fine if you want to, but you're doing it on a very public platform.
The idea is that she should have her own opinion. She should be able to do that. But because she's famous, we're going, you shouldn't do that because people will listen to you and then people are going to die.
She's spreading vile rubbish as well. But yeah.
Yeah, that's
I hate-
a good point.
My
That's
last
good
thing
stuff.
is, and this is Piers Morgan, it's just something that really annoys me about the fact that he's famous. Someone put a really, really good point to Piers Morgan on Twitter, and you can tell he knows it's a good point because he always puts the exact same reply. He puts, says you with 12 followers. He always puts how many followers they have. That really annoys me because the amount of followers you have on Twitter is not proportionate to how good a point you are making.
But again, Piers Morgan isn't famous because his opinion is right.
Exactly.
It's because it's controversial.
Yeah.
And controversy sells.
Yeah.
He forgets that, and because he's got a lot of people
Does he forget
f-
he's just
following
not
him. No, it's because people follow him for his opinion, so he's just
The idea is
somewhere in his head he's gone, oh, I must be right if people agree
I
with
just,
me.
I just hate when he doesn't engage in conversation.
The idea is
he just goes, "We ain't got any followers, so I'm not going to talk to you."
The idea is he doesn't give a damn. So somewhere eventually you're going to find a point that you probably agree with, and then you go, oh, he was right there, and then you go, then Piers is like, yes, of course I'm right. Like, and the point when he walked off of Good Morning Britain that day was because no one was arguing with him. Someone posed a point to him that he thought, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say because he's right, and then just left. And it was just like, and he went, he should have come with that.
And
He wasn't even argumentative. He was just,
Piers literally goes at people.
yeah, exactly. I was like, literally, as you mentioned earlier, he was your friend, and he just posed a good point to you. Not even in an argumentative or aggressive way. He posed a good point to you, and you were like, and then left. It's like, yeah, marvellous.
He joined Twitch, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Where's
Right.
my can? Is that my can?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
Fair enough.
just read it for both.
It's called Peach Play. It's got a woman doing like a what's his yoga move called? Is it a yoga
It's
move?
not. If it was something, it would be like Scorpion or something like that.
That looks like school.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is called Scorpion, isn't it? But that's not a yoga move. That's an injury.
Yeah.
It is. It's called Scorpion when you fall over and your like whole body bends and you're in a
That's
lot
what it
of
is.
pain. Yeah.
But she's like got in a hoodie. She's like on YouTube. I say YouTube. She's on a laptop. She could be on YouTube. It's quite a cool one. I actually really like it.
She's watching Guzzlr.
Yeah.
It says it's a peach vegan milkshake IPA, which sounds absolutely mental. Sounds an absolute brain fart. It just says fly through clouds of mango. Fly through clouds of mango, papaya, and sweet tangerine hop aroma before descending into vibrant valleys of creamy stone fruit goodness, loaded with oats for a rich and velvety mouthful. Then rested on real vanilla pods and ripe peaches for a full-bodied, satisfying brew. It's even vegan, so no cheat codes required. That's why bad news.
It's
Drink fresh hops.
How's
Fast.
it become vegan?
It's just not brewed with fish guts.
No, but so we were saying earlier that like normally for a milk stout or like a milk thing they use
Lactose sugar.
Yeah, surely they can't use that. Can you use that?
No.
So how have they done it then? Like, what makes it a milkshake?
Oats.
Is my question.
I think it's probably just the name milkshake.
Right.
And they've put some
I'm
form
just
to it.
curious.
What do you think to it?
It was alright.
Oh,
It was quite nice. It wasn't bad at all. Not
It
bad
was-
at all.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3.
It was weird because it was full bodied. It was right on that. It just had a weird
It's
aftertaste.
quite nice. I think it tastes peachy.
But the weird aftertaste is when you leave a beer for too long and the hops go off almost.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I was on another beer today. Brewdog Lost.
Have
It's
we had that?
We have had lots.
We have had that.
it's the world's only carbon negative beer.
No, we had the water one.
We had the
What was
water
the
one.
water one called?
It helped water in Africa or something, didn't it?
But
What was it
I don't
called?
know.
was
what
that
it's called.
carbon neutral?
No, it's just
It
like...
was to do with clean water.
Isn't Brewdog all carbon neutral or negative? Carbon negative is Brewdog, isn't
no,
it?
they're trying to be. I think
I
they're in
thought
the
they were.
process. Oh, maybe. They're Scottish. I don't give a fuck. It's brewed with surplus fresh bread, using a third less water, and powered by Brewdog wind turbines.
That's pretty cool.
And there's just in bold letters, plant trees. The Lost Forest in the Scottish Highlands is our big reforestation plan to help create a carbon clean planet.
Oh, I'm so conflicted with Brewdog.
It's just called Lost Planet First Lager. 4.5%. As a lager goes, standard lager is quite nice. I think the Scottish should just stick to making whiskey and leave beers alone.
as a country.
Yeah.
It's really, we don't get many lagers in our box, do we?
No.
And then normally they're not great. It's
No,
really,
no.
it seems really hard
I like to do an extra
Lager
to do much of
beer.
a lager.
Because
We do that
lagers
for a
need to be fizzy. They need to have air in, and it's hard to keep it in a tin
Do you think obviously we have a lot of quite small breweries and stuff. Do you think it's easier to just tackle IPOs?
Yeah.
It must be, right?
Can we do an extra about just a beer show?
Sure.
We're all drinking beer.
Do you want, mate?
That's fine.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
We don't know masses, but
yeah,
we should do it every year and see what we've learned.
Oh yeah, I like it. Yeah.
It was alright. I'd like to try it on draft to see what it's like.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Like the Wiper and True that we had.
Amazing.
What was it? The first milk stout we ever had.
Yeah.
Loved the can. Delicious, but then we tried it on tan. It's just the best thing I've ever had.
Milk stouts tend to be really nice,
I
no
honestly
matter
think
what
it's one
they
of the
are,
best.
because
It's
they're
probably the best beer I've ever had.
they're in between stouts and they're in between porters.
Incredible.
Well,
There's no difference between stouts and porters.
Hmm?
No difference between stouts and porters. It's a
Mm,
myth.
is there?
It's a
There's
myth.
no difference.
We'll see.
It's just where it's made. Well, that was our podcast about celebrity and becoming celebrities and the difference between celebrities. It's quite a long one, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Next week we are back with one of these two.
Yeah.
One of you two, not sure what.
My one's on maths.
Oh, this is on maths, so, probably just...
Not quite maths,
Next
like
week,
interesting sort of like coding
Yeah.
errors and like
Do you know what yours
how
is going to be
planes
next week?
malfunction.
It might be travel post-COVID, because by
Okay.
the time we record this, I'll have been
You'll
on
have been
holiday.
And my next one is actually about books.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
You should
So
put
I've written a book, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually.
So. Marvellous. Thank you very much for listening.
Bye!
Thank you for watching this Guzzlr video.
What am I wearing?
Appropriate.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I was about to yeet off because I did not think I had this hat on. Yeet off! I had like a cowboy hat on. What are these people? Right? You gonna swim with the fishes, Daddy?
Punk.
Is that what they say?
Can't swim with a fish, punk.
Like mafia boss, am I? You know?
You come to me, my daughter, what they
Where's my Coke? Where have you put it, Mum? Mum, where's my Coke? Does that sound like a mafia?
Yeah, you really do, yeah.
Good.